The FBI already had everything. The wiretaps, the phone records, the names. All that was left was the moment Tim Donaghy walked into that room and realized his entire life was about to collapse. Last week, we showed you how a referee became the mob's most valuable asset. Today, we go inside the interrogation, the confession, and the scandal that forced the most powerful sports league in the world to look itself in the mirror. It started with a phone, not a dramatic moment, not a confrontation in a parking garage, just a phone that rang too many times to the wrong numbers at the wrong hours. Federal agents had been watching Tim Donaghy for months before he ever knew it. The wiretaps were already live. The surveillance photos were already stacking up. By the time the FBI moved, they didn't need a confession. They had a case. What they wanted was a cooperating witness. The summer of 2007, Donaghy was approached by federal investigators. The meeting wasn't what you see in movies, no dramatic raid, no handcuffs on the court. It was quiet, controlled. The kind of quiet that is worse than noise. Agents laid the evidence in front of him piece by piece. Call, logs, betting patterns, names, his name. The name of his associate, James Batista, a professional gambler with deep connections to the Philadelphia mob. Every bet Donaghy had tipped, every game he had influenced. It was all there, organized, documented, and devastating. Psychologically, Donaghy was already cracking before he sat down in that room. Investigators who study this kind of collapse describe a specific moment, the point where a subject stops calculating their options and starts just trying to survive the next 5 minutes. That was Donaghy. 13 years of refereeing in the NBA, a career built on authority, on being the man with the whistle, the man whose call was final. And now he was the one being called. He had no leverage. He had no exit. What he had was a choice between fighting evidence that would bury him or talking. He talked. Donaghy pleaded guilty to 2 federal charges in August of 2007. Conspiracy to engage in wire fraud. Transmitting wagering information through interstate commerce. The legal language was dry. The implications were not. He agreed to cooperate fully with investigators, naming associates, detailing the mechanics of the betting operation, and providing information that would ripple far beyond his own case. The sentencing came in July of 2008. 15 months in federal prison. For a man who had stood on NBA floors controlling the pace of the game, 15 months in a federal correctional facility was a different kind of authority. One he had no power over. But Donaghy didn't stop there. Before sentencing, he filed a legal memorandum that detonated a second explosion inside the league. In it, he alleged that the 2002 Western Conference Finals, specifically Game 6 between the Los Angeles Lakers and the Sacramento Kings, had been manipulated, not by him, by the NBA itself. He claimed league officials had encouraged referees to extend the series for financial reasons. The league denied it, loudly. The NBA commissioned an independent investigation. The findings were released. No evidence of institutional manipulation was found in Game 6. But the damage wasn't really about evidence. It was about perception. Millions of fans had already watched that game. They had already felt something was wrong. Donaghy didn't create that suspicion. He just handed it a microphone. What followed was a reckoning. The league overhauled its referee oversight program. Background checks were tightened. Financial disclosure requirements were expanded. A new monitoring system tracked referee behavior for patterns that might suggest outside influence. The NBA didn't admit the system had been broken, but every reform they announced was proof that it had been. The whistle had been compromised, and everyone knew it. Tim Donaghy served his sentence. He walked out of federal prison in 2009. The NBA moved on, at least publicly. But the sport had been changed in ways that couldn't be undone by a press release or a policy memo. What the Donaghy case exposed wasn't just one corrupt official. It exposed the assumption that the people controlling the game were beyond the reach of the people the game attracts, the gamblers, the fixers, the ones who see every whistle as a transaction waiting to happen. Sports leagues run on trust, not rules. Trust. Rules are written in policy manuals. Trust is built over decades and destroyed in a single headline. Donaghy destroyed a lot of it, and some of it has never come back. If what happened in an American basketball arena shook you, Wait until you see what happened to an entire national football league in Italy. Next week, we go inside Calciopoli,